Alright, we finished cleaning up this area here. We pulled all the onions out. We fluffed up the straw. We're going to be taking the straw out of here because we don't want to encourage slugs to be eating our radish seedlings. So all this straw is going to come out. But now the next step is taking these onions into the shed and hanging them and letting them dry, hardening them off. If you can get that outer skin to be good and dry, then they'll store longer. Okay. Wheelbarrow full of onions. And it's off to the drying shed. Here we have this is our garlic that I actually sorted out and hung here weeks ago. On the end here is my seed garlic. I've got my Manitowoc County commercial grade here, and there's a story behind that, and Georgia red, or excuse me, Georgia fire, and Polish red. Those 3 bundles are my seed for next year. I'm going to be pulling those down here in the next day or two, and I'm going to sort out the cloves and put them in a paper bag and put them in the fridge. So here's my onions. These onions I actually pulled out and hung up about 2 weeks ago, and they're still a little moist yet. They gotta dry. And these are the reds. I got a full line of reds. I had about a half a line of whites back here, but I've been using them for salsa. And now I've got some yellows in there again. And then I just hung some yellows. I picked all the yellow onions out of here. Let's get up here. There. And you see the reds there. And there's 2 lines of yellows coming there and going all the way to the other side of the shed, which is 12 feet long. My lens is kind of gummed up with garden material, so you just have to deal with it. You can see, maybe I can see them a little bit better from the other side. You see I got some yellows over here too. The entire shed is full. And everything, all the poles that I made here are full. And I actually doubled one up. So yeah, I got a little better lighting here. You can see the yellows, there's 2 lines of yellows. They go all the way from shed side to shed side. And then there's a line of reds behind them. Then there's another line of yellows over where the garlic is hanging. A couple whites in there. So that's the entire harvest for the year. Of course, we've been really picking after them all year long. We take them as scallions and take them as onions for all our dishes fresh. But no more fresh. They gotta dry now. It's September 1st. If we can get a nice hard dry case around them, they'll last longer. Okay. That's the story. The onions out of. I removed the straw as I don't want any slugs being in the area, because the slugs will eat up the radishes that I plan to plant as fast as they come out of the ground. So I'll have to be on slug patrol for a little bit, but what I'm probably going to do is I have the roll covers here on these radishes. They're getting big enough now where they can take care of themselves. A little slug damage isn't going to hurt them as much. So once the seedlings come out of the ground, I'll take these 2 roll covers and protect some of them anyway. This is going to be my new gardening setup. Every one of these paths are made out of cedar poles, and they're flattened. And from now on, I'm not going to be stepping on the garden. Every time you step on the garden, you compact the soil and you lose fertility. Because as it's compacting, you're pushing the oxygen out. Oxygen can't get into it. And without oxygen, you don't have soil life. At least the soil life that our plants are used to living with. So I'll give you a close-up of this here. See, I did this. This is where the whites and the reds were, onions. And I planted that 2 weeks ago, middle of August, and they're coming along quite nice. I got a path, more middle August plantings. And now this is where I just pulled the yellow onions this morning, about 9 o'clock right now. And I dug a little trench I'm calling that a mini swale. And whenever it rains, instead of the water running all the way out of the garden, it's going to run into that trench and soak in. And I'm not going to have to water as frequently in the summertime. And each of these paths are close enough so that I can reach the middle very easily from the path. So now I have 2.5 beds here to plant. And then here's 2 plantings. The larger is a giant white radish, and I planted that the middle of July. It's a 80+ day radish, and they can grow very, very large. And then this is a giant Luobua, I believe, and I planted that the 1st of August. So these are a little dense. I'm going to have to pluck some out of here. I'm going to wait until they bulb up a little bit so at least I have something to eat. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beds of radishes this fall. We're probably tripling the amount of space that I put the fall radishes last year. And of course all this soil is all organic, composted, with a number of very important ingredients. And look at it, look at this, look at that, isn't that nice? Holy cow, beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. That's gonna grow us some radishes. Okay, I've got some planting to do. I want to get these radishes in this morning. The heat of the day is going to get them germinated with moisture that I just turned up. And I'll get a good start. Then I got some canning to do. Planting radishes. I'm going to show you my micro swales. So remember I talked about this being a mini swale, the little ditches underneath my paths. See them here? That's my mini swale. Anytime it rains, the rain is going to accumulate in my little swales here instead of running off the garden. And now it's going to soak into the soil. And now here are my little micro swales. What I did was I put a radish seed right on the surface and then I pushed it down with my finger. And again, anytime it rains, those little divots are going to fill up and it's going to help to germinate those seeds. Now I think the soil is wet enough now that they're going to germinate, but if it doesn't rain today like it's forecasted, I'm just going to come in here with a hose and I'm just going to sprinkle this down, and all these little holes are going to fill with water, and now all of our seeds are going to germinate. So that's it. The radish seed bed from heaven. Thanks for watching.